And the theme is harnessing artificial intelligence for an inclusive and sustainable digital economy in Africa. And so, according to our program, we shall have welcoming remarks right now. And without wasting time, I will invite the person who is going to give the welcoming remarks. But after that, there will be some other remarks from different leaders who are with us here, and we shall let you know. And so this time, I would like to invite to the podium Dr. Gloria Monko for the welcoming remarks. Dr. Gloria Monko, welcome to the podium.
Dear Chief Guest, Honorable Professor Adolf Mkenda, Minister of Education, Science and Technology, Professor Lugano, Jeremy Kuseluka, Vice Chancellor of the University of Dodoma, Professor Anton Mshandete, DVC Academic Research and Innovation, representing the Vice Chancellor of the Nelson Mandela African Institution of Science and Technology, Dr. Ibrahim Mwamenya, Chair of IEEE Tanzania Chapter, Dr. Emmanuel Lamek Mkilia, Director General, PDPC, distinguished keynote speakers, researchers, innovators, and representatives of the government, industry and development partners, members of the media, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols are observed. Good morning. Honorable Chief Guest, on behalf of the organizing committee, I warmly welcome you and all our distinguished guests to the second International Conference on the Advancement of Artificial Intelligence in African Context, 2026, here at the Mlimani City Conference Center in Dar es Salaam. Thank you for accepting our invitation to officiate this conference. We understand how demanding your responsibilities are, and we sincerely appreciate the time you have set aside to be with us today. Allow me, before you formally open the conference later today, to briefly present to you this conference is about and what has been prepared for these 2 days. Honorable Chief Guest, this is the second edition of the Conference of Advancement of Artificial Intelligence in the African Context 2026. The first conference, held in 2023, created a platform for discussing artificial intelligence from African perspectives. And for this year, we continue that work under the theme of harnessing artificial intelligence for an inclusive and sustainable development of digital economy in Africa. The conference brings together researchers, policymakers, innovators, students, and industry representatives from Africa and beyond, both here in the hall and online. I am pleased to report that the response this year has been very encouraging, double of what has happened in 2023. We received over 100 submissions of the papers from 178 authors in 24 countries. 16 of them are from Africa. Tanzania recorded the highest number of contributions, followed by Kenya, Nigeria, Ethiopia, Burkina Faso, and India. Among the submitted papers, 46 were accepted for representation at this conference. This shows strong African participation and growing international interest in the conference. Over these 2 days, the program includes a keynote address, invited talks, data protection, and data as a driver of growth and digital sovereignty, a panel discussion on AI leadership, and paper presentations on parallelization covering areas such as healthcare, education, agriculture, language technologies, cybersecurity, fintech, and governance. There will be also poster stations and exhibition, sponsors talk, and award ceremony at the official closing tomorrow afternoon. Honorable Chief Guest, this conference has been made possible through close cooperation between University of Dodoma and the Nelson Mandela African Institute of Science and Technology through African Artificial Intelligence Lab, with support from IEEE Tanzania subsection and other partners. I thank my fellow committee members for their commitment during the month of preparation, together with the program team, the reviewers who have assessed the submission of papers, and our keynote speakers, session chairs, moderators, and volunteers. I also extend our sincere appreciation to our sponsor, namely Artificial Intelligence for Development Africa Program, the International Development Research Center, IDRC, UK International Development, and IEEE. Their financial, technical, and institutional support has enabled us to host participants from many institutions and countries and to organize this conference to the standard we intended. I equally welcome our exhibitors and members of the media whose presence will help share the work presented here with the wider public. Distinguished delegates, the organizing committee has done its best to prepare a smooth and welcoming conference, and our team will be available throughout the event to assist you. The program is full and the presentation slots are short, so I kindly ask all speakers, participants to keep time, respect different views, and contribute to the discussion in the professional manner. I encourage you to take part fully, visit the exhibition, ask questions, and make good use of the time we have together here. Honorable Chief Guest, once again, we are grateful for your presence. We look forward to address and to official opening of the conference. The Vice Chancellor, our speakers, partners, and all delegates, welcome to the Conference of the Advancement of Artificial Intelligence in Africa Context 2026. I wish you a productive conference and pleasant stay in Dar es Salaam. Thank you so much. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Gloriana Monko, the chairperson of the organizing committee. And this time, I would like again to invite Dr. Ibrahim Mwamenywa from IEEE Tanzania chapter, the chairperson, for some remarks. Welcome to the podium.
Distinguished guests of honor, Honorable Professor Aldo Mkenda, Minister for Education, Science and Technology, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Dodoma, Professor Lugano Jeremy Luka, the Deputy Vice Chancellor for Academic Research and Innovation of the Nelson Mandela African Institute of Science and Technology, Professor Anthony Mshandete, Director General for Private Data Protection Commission, Dr. Emmanuel Kila, Conference Chair, distinguished keynote speakers, invited guests, representatives from government, academia, and the industry, fellow IEEE members, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of the IEEE Tanzania subsection, it is my great honor and pleasure to welcome you all to the second international conference on the advancement of artificial intelligence in the African context, 2026, with all the proceedings will be published in IEEE. So for those who are going to present, allow me to begin by sincerely congratulating the organizing committee, the University of Dodoma, the Nelson Mandela African Institute of Science and Technology, the African Artificial Intelligence Lab, our sponsors, partners, volunteers, reviewers, and everyone who has worked tirelessly to make this conference knowledge and talent, rather than just depending on what is created or developing in Europe or the northern part of the globe. IEEE strongly believes that technology achieves its greatest value when it benefits humanity. As the world's largest professional organization dedicated to advancing technology, IEEE provides a unique platform where researchers, engineers, innovators, entrepreneurs, policymakers, and students can collaborate to transform ideas into practical solutions. Today, I would like to extend a warmly invitation to everyone over here just to join our this giant organizations IEEE. Whether you come from academia, industry, government, startups, research institution, or the student community, there's a place for you within IEEE. So you're warmly welcome. We invite you to collaborate with that through research, technical societies, standards development, conferences, humanitarian technologies, education programs, student branches, industry partnership, and professional networking. Together, we can strengthen innovation ecosystem across Tanzania and all over Africa. I'm also delighted to share some encouraging news. The IEEE Tanzania subsection is currently undergoing an important period of restructuring as we prepare for the next milestone in our journey, the transition towards becoming a full IEEE section. This is not simply a change of name or startup. It represents the growth of our engineering and scientific community, the increasing participation of our members, and our shared ambition to establish a stronger and more vibrant IEEE presence in Tanzania. A full IEEE section will provide a great opportunity to establish more technical chapters, strengthen student branches, expand young professionals and women in engineering activities, organize more international conferences, increase industrial engagement, and better serve our members across the country. However, this journey cannot be achieved by the executive committee alone. It requires the collective effort for all of us. Therefore, I would like to invite each one of you to become an active participant in shaping the future of IEEE Tanzania. We welcome your constructive ideas, your expertise, your experience, and your commitment. Let us work together to build an IEEE community that is open, inclusive, innovative, and impactful. As engineers, researchers, and technology professionals, we all share a common responsibility to use science and technology to solve really societal challenges. Conferences like this provide an excellent platform to exchange knowledge, establish partnership, mentor young professionals, and inspire the next generation of innovators. I encourage you to actively participate in the technical sessions, ask questions, engage AI research and technological advancement. Once again, I congratulate the organizers for the excellent work, and thanks for the participants for choosing to be part of this important conference. I wish you a very fruitful and successful discussion, collaboration, and everything within the conference. Thank you very much. At this time.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ibrahim Momenyo, for remarks from IEEE Tanzania chapter. Thank you very much. And we are now going to get some other remarks from the Nelson Mandela African Institution of Science and Technology. And on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, I would like to bring to the podium Professor Anthony Mshadete, DVC ARI, for the remarks. Welcome to the podium.
Today, Professor Adolf MP, Minister of Education and Science Technology, Professor Vigano Luka, Vice Chancellor of the University of Dodoma, Dr. Amos Imedu, the Chief Prospect, Dr. Ibrahim Mwamenyo, Chairperson of the first IEEE, Dr. Emmanuel Muklia, the Chief of the Personal Data Protection Commission, Dr. distinguished speakers, researchers, innovators, representatives from the government, industry, and also development partners, conference chairpersons, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. First of all, let me give thanks to God for granting us the gift of life so that we can be here today. Second, let me take this opportunity to thank Professor Adolf Mukenda, our guest of honor, for gracing us with his presence. Honorable guest of honor, the theme of this conference, harnessing artificial intelligence for inclusive and sustainable digital economy in Africa, presses before us both opportunities and also duties and responsibilities. The artificial intelligence is already transforming healthcare, as we have seen in some of the innovators, agriculture, education, and also financing, and also all the issues connected to public administration. Africa must take part in shaping these frontier technologies, guided by African data, African languages, African priorities, rather than remaining only as the consumer of systems which are designed elsewhere, but not in the African continent. Conferences like this kind give us the means on how to do it ethically. Honorable guest of honor, ladies and gentlemen, the true value of this conference will be found not only in the discussions we hold, but in the action that they inspire, research which fulfills its purpose when it moves from publication to data set, to prototype, to a policy or to a partnership that serves our community. I therefore argue over the next 2 days to think ambitiously, to work across disciplines, and to consider our collective efforts can contribute to scientific advancement and the sustainable development of our country. Ladies and gentlemen, let us strengthen the networks that sustain our research and excellence. Lasting progress rests in trust, collaboration, and in the willingness to learn from others. The connections formed at this conference may grow into research, partnership, practical solutions that reach far beyond our country. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to invite Professor Chiruka, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Dodoma, to consider this welcome remark. Thank you so much.
Dr. Kenda, Minister for Data Science and Technology, and our guest of honor today, Professor Anton Mchandete, the Academic Research and Innovation, the Nelson Mandela African Institute and Science and Technology, representing the Vice Chancellor over there, and a very good partner, the University of Dodoma in advancing AI. Dr. Ibrahim Mamenyo, chair of the Triple IE, very difficult name for about the chair of the Tanzanian subsection of Mission, Dr. Martin Mungu, Director General for the COSTEC, Dr. Emmanuel Kilia, Director General of the Personal Data Protection Commission, US Commission in this country of things, very important for now. And Professor Fatia Masawe, Assistant Director, the Minister of Trade and Science and Technology, responsible for development. Gloriana Monko, the chairperson of the organizing committee, the PI of the ICA for AI Lab, keynote speakers, invited guest scientists, innovators. Good morning to all of you. Our chief guest, it will be my great pleasure to have you today amidst your very many other engagement. And we know that we're here because you're among the most vocal proponents of AI this time. And I would have been very much maybe demoralized if you hadn't come, because I know then our voice probably wouldn't be heard. It would be heard today after the speech and after the engagement with many people here. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, all of you, scientists, innovators, and presenters this conference. And there have not been many such conferences. And this one may appear to a few people, but we know because of the technology, others will be actually joining through online presentation. But the number of people we see here, to me, is very encouraging. We're talking about an emerging field, technology, and therefore we don't have so many people. But the initiative which the government is actually undertaking for now, in a few years to come, we're likely to have this conference being small in terms of populating oversight. So personally, I'm very much excited to be part of this initiative. and seeing how the young generation is molding the future, in particular to Africa, to make sure that we also participate effectively in exploring the potentials of AI and the other types of technology. So for us at the university, together with our colleague, Nelson Mandela African Institution of Science and Technology, we are proud that we are making our voice a bit louder so that more people can start embracing and believing that AI is not an alien invention. It is actually domesticated. And our young scientists are in the forefront of actually making sure that it is used in production. And we appreciate we led a bit to come to the conference room because we had to go through the innovation and see how the young people and what they are doing being guided by fairly senior scientists in the academy. And these are the Gen Zs we are talking about. Because sometimes when Gen Z mentioned here, people think the negatives. But actually, they're doing a great job in their niche areas like AI. So even though the African continent may appear to be slightly behind, but at the pace at which the young generation is embracing AI and other emerging technologies, you can imagine that in very few years to come, will be a very strong voice in the world talking about AI. And you cannot see the benefits. And sometimes people are scared about the potential negative impact of emerging technologies. I think if we think developmentally, we should focus more on the potential impact of emerging technologies, while we're also doing whatever is possible to deter the negative impact of it. But this is the world where we cannot run away. We have to embrace them, we have to work and exploit and become billionaires. Because we know now the big billionaires, the trillionaires nowadays in this world are actually in this area. You also want to be part of that ecosystem. We can't do that happens. So the theme of this conference, which is the harnessing artificial intelligence for an inclusive and sustainable digital economy in Africa, reminds you about what our researchers are doing, what research can offer. We really need to embrace this technology so that we can contribute to economic development of our countries and our societies and our countries. We appreciate that Africa may not be so much technologically advanced, but we are not very much behind. After all, we have the fastest growing population, which is the major capital for development. So what is expected of us is to shape the generation to adopt the positive impacts of modern technology so that we can harness it for economic development and improve the social lives of our people. And the purpose for the University of Dodoma and the Nelson Mandela African Institute of Science and Technology to organize this conference together is to demonstrate how powerful we can be in especially in areas where we may not have all the resources we need. But if we pool our limited resources, we make our brains think together, we are likely to do many other big things. And I'm very much encouraged, and I would like to report to you, Honorable Minister, that this project is actually performing very well. Last year, the Canadian minister, the son, visited the University of Dodoma, where the lab is based, because this is one of the other things funded. But among the many, this one was selected for visiting by the minister, which means what we are doing being trusted, the job is being trusted by the funders, and it is because we are doing very good things. And we believe We have launched an application for expansion and for continuation of the program. And we think by the type of innovations which are coming with the project, chances are we are likely to get more funding. Now that you are here, Honorable Minister, now because we know you managed to convince the government to send some young Tanzanians to study abroad on issues related to AI and other emerging technologies. We will appreciate that you take those our request, that because we are here preparing the grounds for those who will be coming from abroad to come and work here, we will continue doing this work. And if the resources happen your way, we direct to these two institutions and others. And as we have noted, we're actually having young innovators from across the country. So what we are doing is to coordinate, and we appreciate to have the honor of continuing to coordinate. And if we get resources from whatever source, we'll be very grateful and be assured we are going to utilize those resources properly, and we are going to have an impact to development of our economy in general, but particularly the digital economy. I'm conscious that we'll spend some time during the break this morning, but I would like to really appreciate for all those who have joined us in this conference. And we want you to be as open and candid as possible. How can we make Africa a strong player in making sure that the digital economy contributes a lot to the development of our country? With these remarks, Honorable Minister, the Chief Secretary of Industry, who officially welcome you to talk to the focus. Asante sana na karibu sana.
Thank you very much, Professor Luka, Professor Mshandete, Professor Patia Masawe, Dr. Mjahidi, Professor Shubi Kaijage, Dr. Gloria Monfo, distinguished keynote speakers, researchers, creators, policymakers, industry leaders, development partners, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to join you at the opening of the second international conference on the advancements of artificial intelligence in the African context, AAIAC 2026. I thank the University of Dodoma and the Nelson Mandela African Institute of Science and Technology and Afri-AI Lab IEEE Tanzania chapter and partners in the AI4D network for convening this important conference. The theme, harnessing artificial intelligence for an inclusive and sustainable digital economy in Africa, speaks a question that Africa can no longer postpone. I've been informed that this year's conference attracted more than 100 paper submissions, with 45 papers accepted following a rigorous review process. Most accepted papers came from international authors outside Tanzania. This remarkable achievement demonstrates the growing attention of AAIAT as an important platform for advancing artificial intelligence research in Africa and beyond, and will support this initiative beyond even the partnership funding. The government will have to put their hand to ensure that this conference becomes sustainable. The second international conference, the advancements of artificial intelligence in the African context, builds on the first AAIAC conference held in 2023. That first gathering reminded us that Africa should not remain a passive user of artificial intelligence. It called for African scholars, innovators, policymakers, and industry leaders to shape AI in ways that respond to African needs. Today, continue that journey, broader participation, stronger evidence, and a clearer call for practical action. Artificial intelligence is changing how economies grow, how institutions work, and how people live. Africa, it is a promise. It's a promise and it's real. AI can support greater healthcare, stronger agriculture, improved education, safer financial services, smarter public services, climate action, and new opportunities for work. Yet this promise will not save Africa by chance. We must guide it, purpose, evidence, ethics, and inclusion. This conference matters because it brings the right voices into one room, brings together researchers, innovators, policymakers, industry leaders, and development partners. It also brings local and international voices into one serious conversation. Africa needs strong internal capacity. It also needs fair global partnerships and respect African priorities, African data, African languages, and African institutions. As the host country, Tanzania welcomes this conversation with a clear sense of purpose. Tanzania's development vision 2050 recognizes science, technology, research, innovation, and digital transformation as important drivers for development. This national direction sits well in the wider African agenda of this conference. It reminds us that AI must support human development, productivity, inclusion, and public value. The government of the United Republic of Tanzania has placed digital transformation, science, technology, research, and innovation at the center of national development. The Ministry of Education, Science, and Technology is implementing this vision through the Education and Training Policy, Chapter 2023, which recognizes digital technologies and artificial intelligence as essential enablers, quality, equitable, and relevant education. The ministry is progressively integrating digital competencies and AI-related skills at all levels of education, strengthening ICT infrastructure in learning institutions, promote digital teaching and learning resources, supporting research and innovation, and expanding partnerships with universities, industry, and development partners. Through initiatives such as the National Digital Economy Framework, the National Research Agenda, the Samia Scholarship Program, and investments in data science and artificial intelligence programs in higher education, Tanzania is progressing well in building a critical mass of skilled professionals who will contribute to national development while strengthening Africa's collective capacity in artificial intelligence. The program before us shows the practical importance of this conference, which covers AI in governance, health, education, cybersecurity, fintech, agriculture, climate action, global languages, and responsible innovation. These are not distant technical topics. They affect farmers, patients, students, teachers, public servants, entrepreneurs, and young people seeking decent work. AI must prove its value in this real setting. We must also speak honestly about the barrier Africa still faces gaps in infrastructure, computing capacity, research funding, quality data, and specialized skills. Many African languages remain poorly represented in leading communities. Women, youth, persons with disabilities, rural communities, and other marginalized groups still need stronger inclusion in AI research and innovation. If we ignore these trends, AI may widen inequality. Which to address, AI can support shared progress. Responsible use of AI must guide our way. We need systems that protect privacy, support accountability, and earn public trust. Citizens must know how their data is used. Public institutions must understand the limits and risks of AI decision. Innovators must design tools that are fair, safe, and useful. Trust will determine whether digital transformation succeed or not. I'm encouraged by the work of Africa AI Lab, whose focus on research, human capacity development, innovation, Africa-oriented data, policy evidence, and inclusive partnerships is vital. Our universities must continue publishing practical research while building datasets, prototypes, patents, standards, policy briefs, startups, solutions that directly their community. Future of work demand the fundamental transformation of our education security. Is also changing the way we prepare our graduates for an AI-driven economy. In Tanzania, Ministry of Education, Science, Technology is advancing curriculum for digital learning, competence-based education, research excellence, and deeper university industry collaboration ensure graduates are your bread. Our ambition is to nurture African innovators for great results that address African priorities while contributing global knowledge. Giving game requires more than digital skills. It demands the cultivation of critical thinking, ethical reasoning, creativity, entrepreneurship, interdisciplinary collaboration, and a commitment to lifelong learning. As we advance AI, we must keep humanity at the center. Ubuntu, or in Swahili, reminds us that technology must save people and strengthen society. Responsible AI in the African continent must protect dignity, widen opportunity, and include those who are often left behind. It must respect our languages, law, communicate, educate future generations. I invite all participants to embrace this conference as an opportunity to build African data sets with integrity, invest in Swahili and the other African languages, and strengthening collaboration across governments, universities, industry, and partners. Above all, let us ensure Africa becomes a creator of artificial intelligence, developing technologies that solve African challenges and enrich global knowledge. In closing, I congratulate the organizer for their vision and commitment. I welcome all participants, Tanzania, and wish you fruitful discussion. May AAIAC 2026 strengthen Africa's voice in the global AI agenda. May it help us build a digital economy that is inclusive, sustainable, ethical, and well-forwarded. It is now my honor to officially open the second international conference on the advancements of artificial intelligence in the African context, AAIAC 2026. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much, the guest of honor, Professor Adolf Kenda, for such a nice and informative speech. May we put again our hands together once more? Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, according to our program, we are now going to have a session where we're going to have some group photos, and I'd like us to take a few chairs to the stage. So we are going to have group photos, and it's going to be as follows. We shall have the high table intact. Members of the high table will be seated there, and some groups will come in for group photos, and the groups will be as follows. We shall have directors from the ministry. When I talk about these directors, I mean the General Director for Tanzania Commission for Science and Technology, but also the Director General for Personal Data Protection Commission, but also the Director representing higher education from the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology. So those three directors be the first group that will go for our first group photo. And then we shall have sponsors of the conference. When I talk about sponsors of the conference, I mean DSE, but also PDPC, UTT AMIS, AfriPrize, and ARIFA. Those sponsors will go for the second group photo. And then we shall have another that will comprise representatives from different universities, in the sense of all that are here, principals, deans, directors from different universities. Will go for the third group photo. But we shall have another one that will comprise the exhibitors. And then we shall have keynotes at the plenary speakers. And then we shall have members of the lab. And then we shall have presenters. We shall have participants. And the last will be organizing committees. So I would like now to ask members of the high table, please, may we walk to the stage and take our seats, ready for the group photo. The seating plan will be as it was down here. So now, may I ask the directors that I mentioned for the first group photo, please, let's go for the group photo. Photographers, you will give me a signal when you are ready with that. Sponsors, get ready. Sponsors, DSE, PDPC, UTT AMIS, AfriPrize, ARIFA. Let's go for the group photo. Before that photo, please, DSE, just wave. DSE, if you're already there. PDPC, before the photo, PDPC, UTT AMIS, AfriPrize, ARIFA. All right, let's go. Representatives from different universities, deans and principals, please, let's go for the group photo. deans, principals, and directors from different universities. Exhibitors, please. Exhibitors, let's get ready. Exhibitors, please, let's go. Then keynote and plenary speakers, get ready. Members, okay, keynote and plenary speakers, please, let's go. Then members of the lab, get ready. Members of the lab, get ready. African Artificial Intelligence Lab, okay, get ready. Members of the lab, members of the lab, get ready. Members of the lab, let's go for the group photo. I have also been informed that there are some officials from the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology. Please, you should get ready. Officials from the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, get ready. Okay. Participants from different places that are with us here, please come to participate. Let's go for a group photo. Participants. International. Okay, let's begin with international participants. Those from outside Tanzania, please, let's go for the group photo. Both speakers and other participants. Let's go, let's go. Then organizing committee, that will be our last group photo. Organizing committee, ready. Organizing committee, let's go. That makes our last group photo. Organizing committee. Thank you. That makes our last group photo. And this time I would like to ask members of the high table, they may now walk down the stage. And that takes us to break time, where we're going to have a tea break or coffee break. But let's remain seated, please. All right, let's put our hands together as members of the high table walk out of this venue. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Yes, it's now time. We are going to have a break, and very soon we shall be told where to go for our tea break. So meanwhile, just keep talking to your neighbor, at least one or two things, and then we'll let you know where we go to for our tea. Okay, it's now time for tea break. Please, we shall walk out, go to the left. We shall be directed where we go for our tea. You are welcome. Please.